All right, everyone. I figured I would cover something non-political here because, I like to change it up a little bit, and some people seem to enjoy it when I just rant about personal stuff. I wanted to talk about some memorable meals that I've had. So I've already talked to some degree about all of these, I think, at different times, but never in one place. So for people that are interested in food-related shenanigans, there's definitely some fun stuff going on. First, though, the most famous incident, which is the DeAngelos sub incident. We were in White River Junction, or Lebanon, rather. I can't remember exactly. I think we were just shopping, and me and my dad got hungry. And Mom, I think, went off to Walmart or something like that. Over in New Hampshire, they have a sales tax, so, you'd go over there and you'd do your shopping for the week or whatever. Go to the grocery store. So we decided to go to DeAngelos, the sub shop. They've got some good sandwiches. And I got a meatball sub, and it's loaded with meat. They make them the right way, too. Like, meatball sub from Subway doesn't stack up to DeAngelo's sub. Just trust me. You get twice as much meat. I eat it without cheese, actually. Although I have developed a fondness for putting chipotle sauce on it. It's just delicious. Anyway, I was fucking famished, and I think I was about 14, so you get ravenous when you're a male teenager. Especially me. There was one time that I ate 7 plates of food at the all-you-can-eat buffet. I'm sure that they considered banning me if I got an 8th. It's a big sub, foot long. It's stuffed full of meatballs. And I started ramming it down my throat, barely chewing it. And before my dad had finished his first bite, I was about 2/3 done with the sub. And as I'm smashing it down, he's like, "Tarl, cut that out." He looked like he was gonna get sick, because I was just smashing the fucking meatballs and the grinder roll into my face. It's like there's sauce all over my face and stuff. And when I burst out laughing once I swallowed that last bite, because he's had like 2 or 3 bites by then of his sub, and I just laughed at his reaction. I just thought it was hilarious for some reason. Yeah, when I was a teenager, my metabolism was through the goddamn roof. I mean, I'm still a skinny dude now, and I eat whatever I want. But back then, it was just insane. Like, you're talking, when other people are getting seconds, I'm getting fifths sometimes, depending on what's been served. I many such cases. Speaking of my dad also, he used to work at the Mountain Creamery in Woodstock, Vermont. They've moved now. They've actually got a better location. All the buses stop off right in front of them, and they must be making a goddamn killing. Also, I think that the building that I grew up in, it has been condemned, actually, or is being completely redone because of various issues. That building was already crickety when I was a little one. It was built in, I think, the 1830s, so not exactly the best insulation either. But he used to be at the Mountain Creamery, so he would bring home free food all the time. Sandwiches and meat and cheese and stuff, but also there was this one ice cream. I used to like sweets more. It was chocolate and it was filled with Oreos, and like they mixed it themselves, I think. And boy, oh boy, was it good. I loved it when I got that as it, or the vanilla chocolate chip. That was the other one that I really liked, because the chocolate, like, it wasn't overpoweringly sweet, but it wasn't like a bitter chocolate. I don't know what kind they used for the chips in the vanilla chip ice cream, but it was good, let me tell you. Lots of corned beef, fresh veggies and shit like that, random soups that he had. He'd cook 40 gallons of soup and only 35 of it got sold, so, then there's free soup for everyone. There's some fringe benefits, by the way, working in the restaurant industry, especially when you're the head chef. I enjoyed that as a kid. I thought it was great. Then there's my Parthian chicken story. Now, this is from when I was in the Netherlands. This was, I think, 2 years ago or so. I saw Tasting History, and that's a YouTube channel. You should look it up, by the way. Fascinating stuff. And one of the recipes in there was for an ancient Roman chicken. That's not technically ancient Rome. It's the ancient Parthian civilization adjacent to Rome. And it's a chicken that's been, well, he spatchcocked his, but I did drumsticks because I didn't want a whole chicken, and the drumsticks are the best part. I'm just pointing that out. But it's with a wine sauce. It's wine and vinegary. It's got asafoetida, which is actually a really smelly herb. It's also called hing, although hing powder isn't usually pure asafoetida. If you look at it, if it's a bright yellow color, then it's been adulterated much more. And anyway, with turmeric specifically. And it was really, really smelly. And I was like, when I first opened, I'm like, okay, I don't know that I'm going to enjoy this. And I cooked it perfectly. It came out perfect. The sauce was just the right consistency. It had become sort of caramelized all over the chicken, nice and thick. It was sweet, it was savory. I nailed it on my first try, and I was very proud of myself because up till that point, other than frying up chicken nuggets or something like that, I had never really cooked chicken. I had made chicken noodle soup, so you cook the chicken and then you shred it up with a couple of forks, and it's fairly straightforward. It absorbs the soup flavor, so you don't need a huge amount of seasoning or anything like that. I thought I was going to ruin the chicken and be really, really sad, but actually came out good. And by the way, the taste of the asafoetida in it is delicious. When it's heated, I guess it transforms flavor somehow. Although I think if I went back, I think I would use a white wine instead of a red wine with the sauce, because I'm not a huge fan of wine in cooking anyway. I think that the white, a sour white, like a Sauvignon Blanc would probably go better with it than, I can't remember exactly which wine I used. It was really great. Ate the whole fucking pan, by the way. Put some potatoes in there. They soaked in that flavor. Oh boy, it was good. The potatoes almost tasted like they had been in a stew afterwards, actually. It was pretty good. Also, talk about sour cream in the cottage pie. Well, what my mom calls shepherd's pie. Technically, it's a cottage pie, and shepherd's pie is with lamb. I do something in the middle. I use like peas and carrots, but with my mom, it's potatoes and then corn and then the burger on the bottom. And then potatoes are nice and buttery and fluffy, and the beef is mildly seasoned. It has a mild flavor overall. It's sort of typical New England style cooking. And I always loved this as a kid, and I still do now. I pile it with ketchup, by the way, because I'm crazy. But one time, she got it into her head. She was thinking to herself, hey, potatoes go well with sour cream. What if I put sour cream into the cottage pie and cook it with the sour cream? That sounds like it would be good, right? I'm iffy about sour cream with potato. I like it on a taco. I like using it for sour cream and onion mix for dippy purposes. Not a huge fan overall of sour cream in most things, though, myself. But she cooked it and prepared it, and it didn't smell off at all. And we're sitting down to eat. And I, of course, because I'm fucking starving and it's shepherd's pie, my favorite meal as a kid, I take a bite, and I'm like, this doesn't taste right. Mom's like, you're just crazy, you know. I'm like, what? No, seriously, what did you do to this? Because something is different. She didn't admit it. He said, it's fine. Dad takes a bite. And he says, nope, yeah, Tarl's right. What did you do to the shepherd's pie? She's like, oh, you two are just goofy. Then she takes a bite. She's like, oh, yeah, no, it's not that good. And we pressed her, like, what the hell did you do to it? Because shepherd's pie is almost everyone's favorite. And she's like, oh, I put sour cream in the potatoes. And she's trying to explain why she got the idea. And it's like, it sort of makes sense, but it was just a total dud. And I was very, very upset because I'm like, we had been talking about having shepherd's pie for days. And it's my favorite meal. And I'm like, yes, thank God I'm getting shepherd's pie loaded with ketchup. And then, you know, it all got thrown out. I can't remember. I think we had fish sticks and French fries because, you know, I already spent hours preparing this meal. And then you can't eat it. So we needed something quick. So I think it was fish sticks and French fries was for dinner. At least I got my ketchupy goodness. And then also, raised seafood. Of all of my dining out experiences throughout the many vacations I've taken, raised seafood in Northampton, New Hampshire. I think it's in Northampton specifically, not in Rye. It could be up as far as Rye. I can't remember. Basically, when you're on the seacoast, you're at Hampton Beach, you just go north and you can't miss it. Absolutely spectacular place. By the way, supposedly haunted. It's got a haunted places index entry on it as well. And there's a ghost. Ooh, spooky. And I had the first time we went there, I had calamari. I really like fried squid. Delicious. Really great. Second time, though, I was like, no, I'm in more of like a soup mood. So I had their seafood chowder. And I don't normally go for chowders. Like, I don't like clam chowder. But for some reason, this seafood chowder was like more addictive than crack. I highly recommend it. If Ray's is still there up in the Hampton or Rye area, and you happen to be in the seacoast region, definitely go and get some of their seafood chowder, unless you're allergic to various little squiddly things in the water. It was absolutely spectacular. They give you a big-ass bowl of it, by the way, too. They don't skimp on the portions, at least they didn't back when I went there, so... they were always jam-packed, too. Constantly busy during the tourist season. It must make a hand-over-fist money. Good view, smells nice. They've got decks and everything. You can eat al fresco or inside. Really great restaurant. I can't wait to go back there. I'm thinking about possibly this summer. Just take a day trip just to get seafood chowder and then look through the tidal pools for at weird little squiddly things in the water. So yeah, those are some of my food stories. And I hope that you enjoyed that. My screen just went blank because I went long enough, by the way. I've got many more that I could relate because I've had a lot of memorable meals, including some that didn't agree with me, like the whole raspberry incident. Once, I'll do that really quickly before I go off here. One summer, we had a bumper crop of fresh raspberries out back. So naturally, I wanted to pick them, some for freezing, some turn into jelly or whatever, or just eat them because raspberries are goddamn delicious and they're fresh and organic and perfect, and it was like the perfect weather too. It had just sprinkled rain the last night, so the dew is on them, and they're all fresh and clean and no dust or anything, and they're all perfectly red, just mountains and mountains of raspberries. And I gathered like 5 bowls of them. But while I was gathering, I was always eating them the whole time too, so I probably ate a couple of large bowls worth of raspberries to myself. Well, it was interesting that evening when I had to go to the bathroom. I will say no more. That is an awful lot of fiber. Clean you right out. No gastric problems here, and I have a cast iron stomach, so for the average person, they would have been in some goddamn pain. I couldn't stop eating them. They're just so goddamn delicious. Might have that same problem this year. I've already cut one of the paths that I need into the raspberries. I've got 2 more to go in the spring, and that's pretty much it. And I know that I'll have enough sod to do it with, so it's going to be a good time. Ta-da! Food stories. Pleasant and unpleasant. Sour cream in the cottage pie? Not so pleasant. Seafood chowder from Ray's? Yeah, sign me up. That's about all. Peace out.